How's it going, guys? Jordan Syatt here from SyattFitness.com, and in this week's exercise video of the week, I want to take you through leg drive and how to use it appropriately to improve your bench press. So in short, what leg drive is just learning how to use your legs and your feet to drive into the ground as hard as you possibly can to create enough total body tension to translate into a larger bench. So if you can put more tension into the ground and create it through your legs, hips, torso, and into your upper back, you'll be able to have more total body tension to translate to a stronger bench press. So first and foremost, a lot of times you see when people are benching, their feet will be moving around. I like to call that happy feet. I don't want any happy feet when you're benching. Your feet need to be planted firmly on the ground. The other thing, I don't want your feet on the bench. I don't want your feet, I don't want to be doing abs while you're benching. If you're benching, you're benching. So keep your feet planted firmly on the ground, none of that other stuff. So what I do is, I'm gonna come here, and you have two options. You have two options. You want to figure out, the first thing you want to do is try and figure out where you're going to place your feet. Personally, when I coach it and when I bench, I like to have my feet closer to my head, so behind my knees and closer to my head. Some people will be able to have their feet out wide and way in front of their knees. Personally, I don't do that. It doesn't mean it doesn't work, it's just I found when I'm coaching people, they get it a little bit better and they understand it more if they can get more tension by bringing their feet further back. So I'll show you what I mean. Instead of having your feet out here, I want to bring my feet behind me. So when I set up, coming a little bit closer, when I set up, I want my feet behind my knees. Now, you don't have to have them as far back as I have them, and a lot of people get them even further back than that. If you're just benching to, not for competition, feel free to have them a little bit out like this, get flat feet. But if you really want to try and get a bigger arch, get a little bit more tight, you can try to bring it even further back and get a bigger arch and drive into the ground. So other people, what I don't do is I don't want your feet out here. If your feet are out too far wide, you're not going to be able to drive in and put as much force in the ground. So that's part number one, finding where you place your feet. If you're competing, it's important to note some federations make your heels touch the ground. I know, for example, the USAPL does. If your federation makes you compete with your heels on the ground, you're not going to be able to get your feet far back, or as far back. So now that once you figure out where you place your feet, you need to figure out what are we doing with our feet? What's the point of bringing them far back? What's the point of getting so much tension? So let me show you. If I get in the right position, I get my feet back, I get a good arch, my butt's on the bench, my back is on the bench, my head's on the bench. If I don't touch the bar and I drive into the ground, I'm going to shoot backwards. So watch what I mean. I'm here, apart from my hands being on the bar, I'm in good position. Now if I drive into the ground and use leg drive effectively, I'm going to move back. So again, if I'm here, I move back. But that's why you have the bar. The bar is going to provide resistance that you need. So when you get here, come around the side a little bit. There you go. When you get here, you're going to have weight on the bar to push into the bench, and now you can drive with your feet. And I'm trying to move. I'm trying to create tension in my upper back, but I'm not shooting backwards because I have this to prevent it. So I'm here, I take the bar out, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm driving with my feet, trying to create a whole lot of total body tension. When I'm coaching athletes, one of the things I'll do is I'll stick my hand underneath their upper back and I'll say, try and pinch my hand against the bench as hard as you can with your upper back. So, and what I want them to do is I want them to drive into the ground, create a lot of tension in their legs, all the way through their torso, so that when they drive that hard, that tension transfers all the way up into their upper back. So one of the best lessons I ever learned was from Dave Tate, where he said, go onto the bench like this, get up here, and when you feel that tension on your upper back, that's what you should be feeling when you're benching. So then you just get here. If you keep that tension, driving to the ground, I'm pushing to the ground as hard as I can at the same time, trying to create tension from my upper back and the bench. So now, when I go to bench, I rack, I'm driving to the ground as hard as I can. You can see my legs tightening up as I drive. And the whole time I'm driving. And if I didn't have the bar, I would be going like that. So the whole time, you'd be pushing to the ground as hard as you can, trying to drive into it to create that tension from your toes all the way through your legs, all the way into your hips, into your torso, and into your upper back. So that's how I like to use leg drive. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this made things a little bit more clear. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Have a good day.